All praises and glory to Yahweh,
Bahashem, Yahushai.
and double honors to the apostles, that rule well. And we're still out here in the midst of the people, in the highways and the byways, and we're going to continue on to do this sort of thing, And all of the brothers right around Great Millstone, man, and especially down here, hey, man, things are going to start getting real. You know what I mean? We got to be fully equipped than ever before. Because Teresa May, she said what she's going to start doing is she's going to start deploring the military on the streets of London. She's risen the security to a level of what critical it says, right? To a level, critical. So that means, man, and before the count, there was 2 black cars that was passing us by, man. One was behind another one, 2 black Mercedes that passed by the camp. So this thing is getting serious. You understand? We coming towards that time of our Lord and Savior, but we're also coming towards the time of our chastisement. Our chastisement. Because it tells you in Acts the 14th chapter. Matter of fact, since I'm talking about that, you might as well get it, brother. Acts 14. You understand? But like I said before, we out in the highways and the byways. To you people out here, we are the Hebrew Israelites.
That's right.
Come out here week in and week out to prophesy the upcoming calamities and the downfall of this world to come.
Speaking for that.
Okay, so give me that, brother. Acts 14 and I believe it's 23. Where it says confirming the souls. Confirming the souls.
It's Acts 14 and 22.
Yeah.
Acts 14 and 21. And when they had preached the gospel to that city and had taught many, they returned again to Lystra and to Iconium and Antioch, confirming the souls of the disciples.
Right, confirming the souls of the disciples, which we are the disciples. Go on.
And exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
Right. So Paul was letting it be known from there that when we get into the kingdom of heaven, we're going to go through a lot of tribulation.
Wow.
You understand? So that's why brothers be making videos about staying in the faith, etc. That's the confirming the souls of the disciples. Okay, to continue in the faith. All right? Because through much tribulation shall we enter in. Read that verse again.
And that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High.
Right, so that tribulation could either be, Revelations 12 and 12. Okay? No, actually on Revelations 2 and 10 where it says, some shall cast you into prisons. So that's part of the tribulation that brothers are going to have to go through. Certain brothers are going to be caught up in terms of in the wilderness when they literally collapse the system. Because this system's getting ready to collapse.
Yes, bro.
We're at the ending of this revival of ancient Rome. Okay, that's why you got the cops out here heavy, and these same police officers, your local police officers, they're going to be transformed into the military.
Yeah.
And we already there already. Okay, we just had a cyber attack, a false flag attack that happened on the train. Okay, and they're saying that it was an explosion, but when you actually look at the video of what went down, you didn't see no black soot, you didn't see no broken glasses, you didn't see no no blood on the train or people get blown up. It was just something that was turned on fire. You understand? So it's definitely a sign, man. You understand? And then what's that's gonna do? That's gonna stir up the minds of the people that hate people of color to in terms of getting involved in anti-racial activity. So these elites, their whole thing is to stir up trouble, man. Because really what they're gonna do is they're gonna do something so severe, right? To the point where it's gonna cover the collapse. It's gonna cover the economic collapse, because one thing they don't want the people to get hit to is that the bankers that be, or the higher up bankers, on how they're gonna shut the system down by purpose. So to cover all of that, let's say something so severe. Okay, and that's going to be the beginning of Jacob's trouble. So, read that. Yeah, read that. If you got a precept, you can read that too. Yeah, so I'm gonna just read the this is from the Independent News. .co.uk. It says a London attack terror threat levels upgraded to critical as Theresa May deploys soldiers to key sites. And if you notice something, when you have a major cyber attack that happens in Europe, okay, it's always in the major cities of Europe. That's always the case. All right, like for example, you had an incident in Brussels. Okay, you had an incident, I believe, if I stand correctly, in Spain last year when we had the last Passover, 2016. You understand? So now, all of a sudden, we in 2017, and we had about, what, 3 or 4 cyber attacks this year in England, okay, if I'm correct. So they're pushing this thing, man. They're heavily pushing this thing, okay, because what they want to do is they want to bring everything to a totalitarianistic system where people have no control, no rights, none of that, man. And that's what all this bullshit is all about. So you got your precept, right? Okay, so it says, Prime Minister announces Operation Tempera, which I was going into a couple of weeks back, into effect. And Operation Tempera, when you understand something, Operation Tempera is when you get the military involved to help the cops. Okay, so that's what that goes into, and will go into effect, meaning troops will be deployed at strategic locations, including nuclear sites, to free up armed officers, man. Theresa May has announced the security services are raising the terror threat levels from severe to critical in the wake of the Parsons Green terror attack. See that? And we've been talking about this thing for years. We, the Hebrew Israelites, okay, of Great Millstone, the Great Millstone sect, we've always been talking about the prophecies concerning the ending of this revival of ancient Rome. Always, man. That's why it tells you in the scriptures, I can't really quote it, but it says, if the words of this prophecy come to pass, then the Lord have sent that prophet.
Yes, bro.
You understand? So we're truly sent by the Lord, man.
Yeah.
Because you got these people around here, they look at us like we're crazy, we bugged out, but hey, that's just the thing about it. The prophets were always looking towards the majority of the people, always. Okay, because they knew not the times, they knew not what the prophets were trying to convey, man. Okay, so you got your precept, right? So that's the whole thing on that, man. So it says, which means armed troops will be sent to key locations, including nuclear sites, freeing up armed officers to police the streets. The announcement followed after a bomb was left on the underground train on Friday morning, injuring 29 people. So it says, critical is the highest threat level possible. And when you understand something about the critical level, that's to the point where any form of cyber attack or any form of destruction is imminent. It could happen minutes from now or maybe 24 hours from now. Okay, because the thing about it is that, I mean, I don't see how anybody that's got a decent amount of sense in their mind can go in the train station knowing, number one, that London, England is the most surveillance area in the whole entire world. Like this brother was getting me hip to. You feel what I'm saying? So if you're gonna do something shaky, then you must expect to be watched on them cameras. Okay, so that's why, man, you know, people like ourselves, we're led to believe that somebody behind corners have set that up, man. Yeah. That's what that is. That's just the real. And you know what Donald Trump said? Donald Trump said, we're gonna have to shut the internet down. I'm gonna get into that next. The family of the word, baby. You know?
Yeah, that's gonna be salty at school.
Yep. What are you looking for? What's that? Yeah, so it says, yeah, I'll wait until you get it. I'll be patient. Yeah, definitely, man.
What's up?
Yeah, read it.
Jeremiah 7:25, and it says, since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Egypt, unto this day I have even sent you, all my servants, the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them.
Right, rising up early, daily and sending them. So how do we rise up early? Because you had brothers that, well, let's start from the apostles, Tahar and Apostle Gabar, Abraham, all of the apostles, they came in the 80s, way before the time we're in right now. And then you had certain brothers like ourselves, we came in around 2007 to 2010, etc. You understand? So that's the prophets rising up early. Go on.
Verse 26. Yet they hearken not unto me, nor incline their ear, but they hardened their neck. They did worse than their fathers.
Wow.
They did worse than their fathers.
Worse, bro.
So although we're out here doing the work, you got the majority of our people, they still not hip to what we're bringing out.
Whoa.
They still want to act like a bunch of nincompoops with no sense. It's really because they don't have no sense. You understand? That's why they act like that. But really, the Lord got them in the stupid to believe that them doing their own thing and them living the way they want to live, it's going to lead to something. But it's going to lead to something. It's going to lead to them being destroyed. That's what it's going to lead to. You know? Hey man, that's what it is. That's why I told you in the scriptures, the Lord shall choose their delusion. Got another one, yeah?
It's Isaiah 30:9, and it says that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things,
Prophesy deceit.
Prophesy deceit.
There you go. That's what they want us to do. They want us to come out here and speak kind words to them. Everything's going to be okay. God saved all people. All of that madness, that rhetoric. But we're not going to spew that rhetoric. We're going to spew out what Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai told us to get, man.
Yes.
That's what we're going to spew out. And if you can't understand that, if you can't get hip to that, then hey, man, hey, that's just on you. That's your back. You're going to have to carry, my man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, resurrect that again, brother. Sure.
Back to Isaiah 30:9, that this is a rebellious people, lying children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, which say to the seers, see not.
Right, which say to the seers, see not, because the seer is a prophet. Go on.
And to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit.
Right, and that's what they want us to do, but we're not going to do that. We're going to tell you the injuries that the Lord is going to bring on this planet. We're going to tell you about the up and coming plagues that is written in this book. And we're going to read articles to convey what the scriptures are saying. Okay, regardless of what, man. You got some more? Okay, go on.
Jeremiah 28:8.
Yes.
The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms.
Right, so the prophet Jeremiah, he was even saying, look, man, the prophets that came before me, okay, and of old prophesied against great kingdoms. Because you had prophets that came before Jeremiah, but that even applies right now. You had prophets way before our time that were speaking up, you know, about an empire, okay, concerning the calamities and the plagues that was going to befall it. Just like now, we can't come out here and lie to the people and say, well, the Lord is going to bring peace and he's going to bring joy and happiness in this particular world. Because that means we'll be lying, okay? Like Paul said, you take this bread, I'm roughly paraphrasing this, when you eat this bread, eat it worthily, okay? Because if you don't eat the bread, if you don't teach the scriptures the right way, then you got the blood of Yahweh Shah on your hands. So we got to teach the correct doctrine, man, at all times. That's why we've been getting on a lot of these different camps outside of GMS about that, man. But they don't want to listen. You know? There you go. So yeah, go on.
And against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Yeah. And that's what's getting ready to come. You're going to have disease warfare. They could set up a biological attack. But the point of the matter is the prophets always spoke about the calamities of the Lord was going to bring about, man, in the future. The word prophet means to say before.
That's right, bro.
Okay, so the message that we always talk about concerning GMS.
I'm gonna fix that properly.
No, it's all right. It's all right. You know, especially GMS, we always convey that America is going to be destroyed. America is going to go into a nuclear war, and them ICBM missiles is going to hit America heavy, man, and it's going to quake the earth. We always go into that. All right, but guess what? That hasn't happened yet. Just because it hasn't happened yet, that don't mean that it won't happen. It's going to happen.
True, bro.
Go on.
Ezekiel 2:3, and it says, and he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel.
Right, I send thee to the children of Israel. Who are the children of Israel? the so-called the blacks in America, the tribe of Judah, the so-called West
Speak the
Indians,
truth, brother. Speak the truth.
the tribe of Levi, the so-called Haitians, all of these people, these are the sons of Israel, man.
Speak it, brother.
And I mean, in some cases, you know, you may not see your name on the sign here. You may not see your name on the sign, but if your forefathers go back to these people on the sign, then we out here for y'all. Okay, we out here for you. This word ain't for everybody, man. It's only for Israel. Read that again.
And he said unto me, Son of man, I send thee to the children of Israel.
So we're sent to the children of Israel. So all of these different camps around the world, dealing with GMS especially, we're sent towards Israel that are scattered abroad, man. Okay, to regain them back to the resurrection, which that's what Yahweh Shai was preaching about 2,000 years ago. Okay, go on, brother.
To a rebellious nation that have rebelled against me, they and their fathers have transgressed against me.
Right, they and their fathers have transgressed against me. Okay, and that's why we're at the bottom at the loophole right now in this society. You know, we're at the bottom right now. You got all these other nations. They can mock us. They can scoff at us. Okay, because we did wrong. All right, go on. But that don't mean that we're gonna stay at the bottom forever. That just means that the Lord is chastising us because of what we did. But when Yahweh Shai comes back, He's gonna deliver His people from their captivity.
That's probably
See
nice.
that?
Nice.
Go on,
Start with
brother.
the elect.
They
The
and
elect. I stand corrected. The elect. Go on.
they and their fathers have transgressed against me, even unto this very day. For they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them.
Yeah, look up that word impudent. Baba Kusha.
I look up.
Whoever look it up, it don't matter. Yeah, we met before. She came up before. You got it, yeah? Okay.
Impudent means not showing due respect for another person. Impertinent, insolent, cheeky, audacious, brazen, shameless, immodest. What else? Basically, not showing respect to someone who is older or in a more important position.
So what's the Hebrew word for that?
Yeah, hold on. Let me go to the blue letter. Because that was the blue letter Bible homepage. Hold on.
I don't mean to get distracted.
Yeah. Hold on, no, it's the wrong one. It's the blue letter. Blue. Is that the right one?
They look good, but they might. They don't stop. It's very true.
So that's why I told you in the scriptures, 2/3 of them are going to be cut off and die. Okay, these different military officers and stuff like that, troops, they're going to take out the 2/3 of Jake. They're going to be storming these different neighborhoods that Jake's are in, and they're just going to start slaying people left, right, hand, and center. It's going to get to that point. You understand? So that's why the Lord is dealing with the elect. Yes, so read what you got.
Back to Ezekiel 2 and 4. For they are impudent children and stiff-hearted. I do send thee unto them, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith Yahweh power. And they, whether they hear or whether they will forbear, for they are a rebellious house.
Wow.
Yet shall know that there have been a prophet among them.
That's where he was going with it. You know, so hey, that's what it is. So when all of these calamities start happening that we've been talking about throughout the years, all of these Negroes that have been watching us on the YouTube, that's when they're going to realize, well, wait a minute, those guys with the crazy robes on, they were speaking the truth. They said that this was going to happen. That was going to happen. What was the name of the Lord? Was his name Yehovah? Or, you know, they're not going to be able to say it right. You understand? They're not going to say it right. So that they're going to be thinking in that time, man, but it's going to be too late. Plus, what my man Trump is going to do, because I like Trump, right? And the reason why I like Trump,
We all love him, bro. We love him. We love him.
Trump is a beautiful
That's
guy.
it.
And the reason why we love Trump, because Trump is bringing in the practice is hard heavy. You see, I'm gonna get to him later on. I'm gonna get to him later.
Still here, brother. Can I bring up a
Go on. Yeah, you got it, man.
Proverbs 14:8. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit.
Right, the folly of fools is deceit. That's a beautiful scripture. Okay, so at the end of the day, you know, if you're a wise man, you see what's going down, man.
Yeah.
You see exactly what's going down, but a fool, he's all caught up in folly. Like for example, you got them bar drinkers, them club goers, all of these different peoples, and they're just, you know, walking around trying to imitate what they see on TV. When the realization is kicking hard on them, and don't even realize it, man. Reality is going to kick forward. Okay. Oh, that's it, yeah. I think the next piece. Okay, what does it go?
As I back Ezekiel 2:6 now, and thou, son of man, be not afraid of them, neither be afraid of their words, though briars and thorns be with thee, and thou dost dwell among scorpions, be not afraid of their words, nor be dismayed at their looks.
Nice.
Though they be a rebellious house.
Nice, brother.
Yeah. And that's the whole bottom line, because what that goes into is that when you're out here and you're in amongst all of these people, especially our people, man, you gotta watch out for niggas, okay? Because them are the same ones, man. Because like my man Tommy Sotomayor be saying, there's a difference between black people and niggas. But who the main people you gotta watch over?
Yeah.
Niggas, man.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that's what that's going into, because the Lord knows how hard-headed and wicked as hell Jake could be. So we gotta deal with that too. Even amongst your family, you got people like you got niggas amongst your families too, that will turn you in, talk all manner of shit about you, throw you under the bus.
Yes,
so you gotta deal with that too. But that's a part of us being chastised and being what is it saying? I'm using Timothy's, which says that we're being tried and refined like gold is, so to speak. So when your family rises up against you, or any form of situation, that should build your character. Okay? That's all it is. That's why you're going through these issues, to build you, to strengthen you. See? I'm gonna go back to this. Even this whole ordeal that's gonna go down, man, when they shut the system down, now that's gonna either make us or break us.
Yeah.
So it says, critical is the highest threat levels possible on the terror rating system devised by the Joint Terrorism Analyst Center, JTAG, and meaning an attack is considered imminent. In a television statement, Ms. May said, for this period, military personnel will replace police officers, see that? On guard duties at certain protected sites that are not accessible to public. So what's going to happen is when you go to, let's say, Waterloo Station or a major train station, what you're going to start seeing is instead of seeing cops rolling around with these big ass weapons, what you're going to start seeing is the military.
Wow.
Okay, because we're coming to a stage of an imminent attack.
Yes.
Which it could be a sincere one, or it could be a staged one. But regardless of what, all of these things are going to lead up to the coming of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah.
Nice, brother.
That's what all of this is all about, man. It's all a big freaking movie. So if you got something, bro, you might as well keep reading. But let me read something, man.
That's in Luke 21.
Let me not get so lazy. Let me read
where it
something.
speaks about they should be afraid for the things that are coming on earth.
Right.
And then when you see all these things come to pass, look up.
Yes.
So that's your redemption. Draweth nigh.
Yep.
Luke 21.
So I'm gonna read something right here. This is Romans 13, verse 11, and it says, "And that knowing the time, now that it is high time to awake out of sleep,
Come on.
for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe."
Yeah.
How do we know that? Somebody get me second Esdras the 9th chapter. How do we know that our salvation is nearer than when we believe? Because you gotta look for the signs.
The signs. That's the yes. That's look.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So get me that. So how you gonna know the signs? Are you gonna know the signs watching what's those
EastEnders, man. EastEnders,
there's
man.
another one I'm dealing with.
Carnation Street.
Carnation Street. How you gonna find the signs? You gotta watch the news. Okay, well, really, first you gotta know the scriptures if the Spirit of the Lord is dealing with you, and then you gotta watch the news and understand the prophecies that are there. Okay, so you read that.
Second Ezra's man.
It's not in 1.
Second Ezra 9:1, and it says, and he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world. That's what
you
he
gotta
made.
be looking for. It says to be diligent and looking for the signs.
See, brother.
Because I'm gonna hit you with something, right? Like all during the day, I'm always watching some news outlet, whether it be X22 report or whether it be what's that other guy's name, man? That Latin brother, man. I forgot his name. What's his name? I know his name. Huh?
Al Jazeera.
Michael Rivero's name is Michael Rivero. You know, I be watching him in my sleep. I be hearing him in my sleep. Excuse me. So you gotta be on this thing, man. More than ever, you gotta be diligent more than ever. Okay? It's like, you know, I'm even go as far as saying this. Like, I don't really do sit downs too much because I'm just crazy busy, man. Woo! But if I had the time to go do them sit downs, hey, man, I'll be doing them sit downs. Heavy. Okay?
I looked up the word diligent.
Okay, yeah, go on.
The word is having or showing care and consciousness in one's work or duties.
That's that keeping your eyes set. Read that verse. Yeah, read that again. I didn't know verse. Read that say it again.
The word diligent, it means amongst having or showing care and consciousness in one's duties, in one's work or duties. Industrious, hard-working, assiduous.
And I don't cut you too, I have to stop you there because there's a precept that came on my mind. It says industrious, right? That's why it tells you in the scripture, seek the Lord 10 times more.
Wow.
See that? So when you're involved in this truth, it ain't about just you calling people the devil, calling so-called white men the devil, or cursing our people out, all right? Telling them that they're going to be destroyed. You got to work on yourself. You got to be super diligent in this thing, man. You got to be diligent. When it's that time to speak, hey man, you got to be ready to speak. When it's that time, when Saturday comes around, you got to be prepared, man. At all times.
Second Peter 1:10 says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure.
There it is right there. Go on.
For if you do these things, you shall never fail.
If you do all of these things, it says you shall do all of these things. So what are the part of the things that we got to be doing? Coming out here doing the work, feeding the brothers, okay? Measuring the time diligent itself, being circumspect, being sober-minded, okay? Respecting the brothers, the order, and love is shown, brotherly love. All of these things have to be initiated, man. So if you're diligent in all of these things, then most likely you'll be safe.
Yes.
Okay, or you could be a part of the elect. You know, that's how it goes down, man. Okay, so read that.
It's James 4 and
take your time.
verse James 4:7. It says, Submit yourselves therefore to the Most High, resist the devil, and he shall flee from you. Draw nigh to the Most High, and he will draw nigh to you. Cleanse your hands, ye sinners, and purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to heaviness.
Exactly.
Yeah, read that verse again.
Be afflicted and mourn and weep, and let your laughter be turned to mourning, and your joy to heaviness.
What scripture is that?
James 4 and the part was reading, that's 9. But I started at 7. James 4 and 7.
Oh.
Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning.
Right, so it says weep and be in a state of mourning, because that's what we have to be involved in right now. We ain't got no choice. Because when you know these scriptures and you understand it, like it tells you in Ecclesiastes, I believe it's the 7th chapter, where it says, with much wisdom, okay, there's much grief, if I'm quoting it correctly. You know what I'm saying? So, first and foremost, you got to get into the truth to understand that in the first place.
Yes, brother.
You know what I mean? Oh, you got something.
I got another one here, bro. You finished that?
Yeah, go on.
Verse 10. Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord,
Right,
and he shall
humble
lift you
yourselves in the
up.
sight of the Lord.
Wow, brother.
How do you humble yourself in the sight of the Lord? When you come amongst the men of the Lord, you humble yourself. Like for example, read that verse again. I want to show you an example, right?